All right, guys, welcome back. In today's section, we are going to be covering section 2.4, which is all about circles. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to complete the following objectives. You should be able to write the standard form of the equation of a circle. You should be able to graph a circle, and you should also be able to work with the general form of the equation of a circle. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is the definition of a circle. Okay. So a circle is defined as a set of points in the xy plane that are a fixed distance r from a fixed point hk. The fixed distance r is called the radius, and the fixed point hk is called the center of the circle. Okay. So anytime we are given a circle, we are given it in one of two forms. The first form is standard form, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where r signifies the radius and the center is signified by hk. Okay. The other form that we have is general form. Okay. General form is x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c equals 0. Okay. So these are the two forms that we're going to be working with in this section. There's pros and cons to each of these. So more than likely, if you're given a problem, your problem is going to be given in standard form. If it is, it's super easy to work with because you are already be given the center and the radius. And you can tell those two things just by looking at your equation. In general form, it's a little more difficult. You can't readily see the center and the radius just by looking at the equation. So in order to fix an equation that's in general form, you're going to have to use completing the square in order to put it in standard form. So we will do a problem like that so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, but r, like the definition said, that's the radius. So we know from geometry that the radius of a circle is the distance from the center of the circle to the outside rim. Okay, and the center, as we know from the definition, is signified by h and k. Okay. All right, so the first theorem that you have in this section says the standard form of an equation of a circle of radius r with center at the origin 0, 0 is given by x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Okay, so the reason that this is true, that this theorem, so in standard form, we were just given that the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So they're telling us if our center for this particular circle is at 0, 0, that means that our h and our k are also 0, 0. Okay, so if we were to plug that into our standard form of our circle, we would have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals r squared. If we simplify this, x minus 0 is x, so that would be x squared. Y minus 0 is y, that would give us y squared equals r squared. So that's where that particular theorem is coming from. All you have to do is plug in 0, 0 for the center, which was given. Once you do that, your h and your k have gone from your equation, and you're left with this form. So anytime you are given an equation of a circle that looks similar to this, where you don't see an h and a k, you can make the assumption that the center is in fact at the origin, which is 0, 0. Okay. Now, some of you guys are going to be lucky to go to one of my favorite classes, which is trigonometry. And our trig functions are based off this special circle, which we call the unit circle. Okay, so the unit circle is if the radius r equals 1, the circle whose center is at the origin is called the unit circle and has the equation x squared plus y squared equals 1. So once again, this is another circle who is centered at the origin. So that means our h and our k are 0 and the radius is 1. So you get this equation by setting your first equation in standard form, which remember is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So they told us that the center is at the origin, so that means that hk equals 0, 0. And they told us that the radius is 1. So if we plug those values in, let me slide this over for us. you actually get x minus 0 squared plus y minus k squared, which is 0, equals 1 squared. And that's going to give us x squared plus y squared equals 1. So that's where the equation of the unit circle is coming from. Its center is at the origin, and it has a radius of 1. If you square 1, it is simply 1 again. All right, so if you see any of those equations, that's where they're derived from. And those are our basic definitions of a circle. When you guys come back for part 2, we're going to start doing some problems.